This is too easy.
A lot of the guys that are around here that are owning shops or buildings or whatever, they're young, so they're the ones who are gonna tell the story. We're like 20 years old by way of free dispensation, having Mandela come out of jail. So Europe and every other country, they're like light years ahead of us.
This is the first time a young group of creative South Africans have like come out of university and grown up free, kind of have come out, and they can, the music scene, you can see it in music, and it's a time where there's the internet and everyone can talk to each other and their ideas are being shared across the globe. It's like this flourishing, these flowers are starting to flourish, you know, it's like spring for South Africa is now, and Joburg is the perfect place to see that.
If you need to reinvigorate that excitement about a developing city, South Africa, Johannesburg, Gauteng, Bloemfontein is probably the place to come to. Like if you come to South Africa now, you'll be part of a beginning of something we don't know what it's going to become, but it's just great to be here now.
This feels like what, you know, London felt like 10 years ago. It feels like what Berlin felt like, you know, years ago, and it's like the beginning. So yeah, we've checked out Bloemfontein. We're actually going to go check out some acoustic sessions by some of the local up-and-coming musicians. Red Bull Satellite Studio, so let's go check it out.
Soweto, the good side of the ghetto. My mama was a kitchen girl, my papa was a garden boy. That's why I'm a rebel, a good girl in trouble. I fell in love in Meadowlands. He broke my heart, no second chance. Ain't no love in Soweto. Ain't no love in Soweto. Ain't no love in Soweto.
Hi, this is Sapphire on SBTV Johannesburg, and the song that I actually just performed is called Love in Soweto. It's my first debut single. My music is very influenced by your South African Sapphire Town music, and also influences of Western music, so your Motown sound.
So but tuning or pro, Soweto boys, I just keep on the low. We were Romeo and Juliet. He threw me out like a cigarette.
I think music as a whole influences each other. If you look at the Western world right now, they're taking a lot of elements from your African sounds, African rhythm and beats, and we do the opposite. We take fusions of a little bit of hip-hop here, a little bit of Motown. So I think it's influential in that sense. Music is music, and good music speaks to you.
Oh, ain't no love in Soweto. Ain't no love in Soweto. Oh, ain't no love in Soweto. Ain't no love in Soweto. Ain't no love in Soweto. Ain't no love in Soweto.
My name is Paula. I'm also a DJ. I go by the name of DJ Love Slave. Right now we're here in Soweto, more specifically in Mfulo South. The energy, the air, The feel here is just one of a kind. And having growing up here, I'm just so proud of the progression that it's made thus far, because back obviously in the apartheid era, it was specifically built for black people to stay here. Now there's this submergence of cultures and, you know, of people in general, which is a good thing.
My name is Khalebue, Creative Director of Thesis. The thing that's pushing us mostly is just to change the face of the hood. There's a big misconception of what people in the hood can do and what they should do. From a youth perspective, we believe that if we constantly with the youth and inviting youth into our space, then we're learning a lot. We're also moving our way to make them the voice. So they come up with new ideas. They pump in the ideas into the shop. Then we take that energy and give it out to the people. Would really like the kids in the UK and the youth in UK to understand that from Soweto we know about them. So the brands, Palace, skateboards, we know about Good Hood. We also want them to know that we're living in a global culture. The world is becoming small now, so everyone must embrace the new things that are coming out from each and every country.
We're at Maboneng Precinct, also known as Art on Main, and the history of this place is basically, it's actually quite new. There's a guy by the name of Jonathan who literally bought some buildings around here. He converted them into apartments, restaurants and galleries and a market space. Fast forward a few years and this place has literally became an alt culture hub in Johannesburg and in South Africa.
Shape, that's the name of my brand, launched in 2012. I mean, I've been around fashion from a very early age. My mother was a fashion designer. She now has a CMT factory, so she's involved in the fashion industry. I started out as just a fashion designer, and then I started doing some styling, and then from there I did a bit of photography. Understanding or having played around with all these different disciplines, it really does, it changes the way that you look at things. I mean, music is, I guess, super important, like in what I do. At the same time though, I guess, yeah, there's always that, American, influence with Johannesburg, but also looking at local sounds. I've been thinking about it recently, and I really think it's kind of like this post-World Cup movement of just like young creatives with more opportunities and more access. Right now there's a lot of space, and not just like physical space but mental space that people can come into and start things. Entrepreneurship is a big part of that. There's a lot of startups, a lot of guys are just interested in trying and doing stuff. For me it feels like it's the very beginning.
Introduction into music, especially like the acoustic scene, was very much through Western music. Growing up in a Model C boarding school, listening to a lot of like Creed and Def Leppard, believe it or not. Lots of Coldplay, lots of Radiohead. In terms of like the chords that I choose and and the way that I kind of navigate my melodies comes from an indie acoustic scene. Indie also means independent. It's not just a sound. It also means that some of them are quite detached from like big companies, and their sound speaks to me. The idea of being independent in South Africa is still very hard because it's a tiny music industry. The cultural landscape also has changed. Like people are more aware of their Africanism and like are trying to shed all European influences, and I find that's something that I want to do, but don't really want to do at the same time, because it's also a great love that I found in music that's universal. I don't see myself as a person bound by a border. Like I'm a universal being, and I'm really comfortable with that identity.
Trying to develop an independent culture among South African artists. The culture of the youth is disconnected with the spiritual side of who they are. So the youth are more into your TVs, your MTV, trying to be a Lil Wayne. We have a problem because we're not trying to do that. We're trying to get people away from that and into self-awareness and self-consciousness and self-growth and self-independence, the most important.